Ever since I was young, I've had a great fascination with wood, water, trees, and history. I have always been moved by the shapes that nature has to offer. The leaves of trees, powdery snow drifted high into banks by swirling winds. The shape of a wave as it swells and crashes upon a pebbled beach. My father is a wood sculptor, among many other things. As a child, I'd often watch, as he revealed from thick boards of reclaimed pine, the forms of whales, seals, and other creatures of the sea. The curves and corners would slowly take shape, the breeze spraying wood chips across the barnyard, dusting my father's beard and eyebrows with a fine, fragrant powder. I have a great reverence for trees. I stare at their shapes for hours on end, seeking to gain only a fraction of their wisdom. After graduating from high school, I apprenticed under wooden boat builders. I then went to college and studied Italian language and culture. Then I arrived at a new idea, a new challenge for myself. I decided to make a sort of replica of a Venetian remo, the long wooden oar used by the gondoliers of Venice for centuries. Mine wouldn't be an exact replica, mind you, but my own version, influenced and inspired by a gondolier's remo, an homage to the Remèri of Venice. The remèr is the craftsperson responsible for making the remo. A remèr must train for many years to achieve the level of skill required to make a proper remo. I am not a remèr, and I've never even been to Venice. I'm not even Italian. I always joke that I might be the only Rhode Islander without a drop of Italian blood. I wanted to make a remo for the same reason that I want to study Italian language. It is beautiful. In the 17th and 18th centuries, there were approximately 9,000 gondolas plying the canals of Venice. Today, there are only about 400. In 2022, I planned and worked for weeks for something that I could call a remo. I tried for as sustainable and holistic of an approach as I could. I felled an invasive Norway maple in my parents' yard, and used hand tools for almost the entire remo carving process. The trunk of the maple that I cut down was growing straight, but looks can be deceiving. There can be hidden tensions within the fibers of a tree. Shortly after felling the tree, I noticed a slight bow beginning to develop along the length of the log. The days grew shorter and colder, and I continued to hew and sculpt, hoping that the timber would soon be still. It continued to warp and didn't stop until it was too late. My father and I even attempted to steam bend the oar, but the stubborn maple refused to straighten. Eventually, I had to abandon the approach and start over from scratch. It was a good practice run. It gave me more confidence in my second attempt. This time, I'm not using a green log from my parents' yard. After much fruitless searching for a piece of beech, the proper species for remo lumber, I settled on what I could afford and what I could find. A piece of knotless, straight-grained cedar which I purchased from a local lumber yard. Not strong enough for practical use, this remo will essentially live as a symbol of beauty, and hopefully, a worthy tribute to the skill and craftsmanship of the true Remèri of Venezia. I've already said that I'm not a remèr, but I guess I should add that I'm no gondolier either. Just like I'm not a mariner, but I like to build wooden boats. And I'm not Italian, but I like to speak and read the language. I'm just a man in awe of shapes, forms and how they're formed. I think about thicknesses and planes, textures, ridges, curves, and undulations. I'm not carving this remo to use it, just to make it. Just to make it.